Have you ever said something in a meeting or in an argument that immediately made things worse? Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, I should have just kept my mouth shut? You're not alone. In fact, history has proven again and again that the more we say, the more likely we are to say something foolish, dangerous, or revealing. That's why the fourth law of power is brutally simple and dangerously effective. Always say less than necessary. Let's break down Law 4 of the 48 Laws of Power. Always say less than necessary. When you speak less, you appear more in control. Your silence can't be misquoted. You don't reveal your thoughts, emotions, or strategy. And in a world where people are constantly oversharing, being reserved sets you apart. It positions you as someone with depth, someone others take seriously. Talking too much makes your position vulnerable. You may try to explain yourself or convince others, but the more you talk, the less power you seem to hold. Powerful individuals understand this instinctively. They use silence as a weapon, strategically, not passively. And it all starts with mastering your impulse to fill every gap with words. Let's look at one of the greatest masters of this law, King Louis XIV of France, known as the Sun King. He ruled France for over 72 years, longer than any monarch in European history. But it wasn't just his armies or wealth that kept him in power. It was his mastery of psychological dominance. In the royal court, Louis XIV was famously reserved. His advisors and nobles would talk endlessly, hoping to impress or gain favor. But Louis would simply listen, expressionless, silent. Sometimes he wouldn't speak a single full sentence during a meeting. His silence forced everyone around him to second-guess themselves. His few words, when he chose to speak, carried enormous weight. One of his favorite expressions was, "I shall see." That was it. Not yes, not no. Just "I shall see." And yet, with those three words, he maintained total control over his court, because his silence created a vacuum that others tried to fill. So what's happening beneath the surface? Why does saying less give you more power? The psychology is simple but profound. 1. Silence creates discomfort. Most people can't stand a pause in conversation. The moment there's a few seconds of silence, they rush to fill it, often revealing too much or weakening their position. 2. People fear what they can't understand. If they can't read your intentions or predict your next move, they become cautious. They hesitate. You gain the upper hand. 3. The fewer words you use, the more weight each word carries. If someone talks constantly, their words lose meaning. But if you only speak when necessary, people lean in, they listen. Your silence builds anticipation. In short, talking less doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerful, because it forces others to react to you, instead of the other way around. Let's take this into today's world. In business, negotiations are often won not by those who speak the most, but by those who listen the longest. A skilled negotiator might let their counterpart talk and talk, revealing their strategy, priorities, and weaknesses, all while they sit in silence taking notes. In relationships, both personal and professional, those who constantly explain themselves often lose influence, but those who speak selectively seem more confident, more trustworthy, and more mysterious. Even on social media, where oversharing is the norm, those who maintain a controlled, curated voice often have more impact than those who say everything they think. Power is about perception, and when you say less, you control how others perceive you. Now, to be clear, this law doesn't mean you should never speak or always be quiet. There are situations where strategic speech is necessary. If you're a leader rallying a team, a public speaker, or someone trying to motivate others, then your words are your tools. But even then, they must be carefully chosen, deliberate, and rehearsed, not impulsive. You don't want to be mysterious when people are looking to you for guidance, but you also don't want to ramble or overshare. The key is intentional communication. Use words with purpose or don't use them at all. Let's make this practical. Here's how you apply this law in your daily life. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this necessary? If it's not helping you move forward, stay quiet. Respond with silence or short phrases. Let others talk. They'll often reveal more than you expect. Practice saying less in high-stakes situations. Job interviews, negotiations, arguments. Power comes from restraint. Never explain yourself unless absolutely required. The more you explain, the weaker your stance appears. Let your actions speak. So now you understand why silence isn't empty. It's full of power. But what if silence isn't enough? What if someone tries to destroy you, not with actions, but with words? That's when your reputation becomes everything. In the next video, we'll dive deep into Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Because in a world of rumors, one stain can cost you everything. Make sure you like and subscribe to be the first who reveal the next law.